Mori, are you heartfully sorry for all of your sins? It does not matter, dear friend, for now you face your just punishments. Hello, I am your humble host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is my skinny rich friend.
It's Mozz.
Hello, Mozz. Tonight's episode, Memento Mori. As the authorities close in, an exhausted but unbroken Frank vows to put an end to the war that has consumed his life. Director Stephen Surgic. Writer, of course, Jerry Conway is our creator of The Punisher. And moving on down the line, we have Stephen Lightfoot creating this series, Stephen Lightfoot writing our final episode, Angela Mana editing this stuff because, hey, you got to have an editor, and Angela's been editing up a storm. And, of course, as always, hardest working man in show business, Ken Christensen, our staff writer. As the authority... Oh, yes, already read that. Okay. Remember you will die. Remember you will die. Sorry, have to do that. That is the Memento Mori. That has been our thematic this year on Netflix, from a series of unfortunate events to The Punisher. And we open up, and, you know, for someone who is remembering he will die, The Punisher, no one is letting The Punisher do that.
Right.
And here he is dying on the floor, and Micro is begging them to help. And they say, we got to get him to a hospital. And he's like, no, you can't take him to a hospital. Hospitals are cops, which leaves them in just a tough conundrum here because, yeah, hospitals are cops, but also hospitals are hospitals. And, you know, he needs help.
And doctors.
Yes. But as luck would have it, as luck would have it, Madani's father happens to be a world-renowned surgeon, because, as luck would have it, because it helps the story. Don't ask too many questions.
Right.
Well, obviously, you know, I'm sure they've established this long before then, and, you know, know, it's... And if nothing else, once again, it saves us from having to bring in the night nurse, which, although I'm not opposed to, in theory, it's just like, how do we get that scene in there? It's just too much. Having Madani's father be a world-famous thoracic surgeon helps the plot greatly. Okay. So, you know, and it's a great little, very intense scene. You know, Madani's mother is like, you know, why are you bringing him here? Madani's father says, doesn't matter, we have to help, you know. And, you know, they, for what it's worth, they patch up the Punisher, which is very nice, you know. They save his life.
And he's good to go the next morning. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's like he must have Wolverine blood or something.
Well, you know what, man? He's just that much of a super soldier, you know. You know, hey, I'm not saying that he had any super, you know, this is comic book recovery, you know.
Right.
And yeah,
if you're tough enough, you can beat anything.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, and that is what we're very much dealing with here is a soldier who does not die, and that is good.
Right.
Because it would be a sad story if he just died there,
right,
and Billy Russo got away. And Billy Russo.
Or if they gave him like a week to recover and said, yeah, you know, the story moved on. It's been a week. We gotta find our whatever, you know. But it's much more interesting this way, I guess.
Yeah, and because obviously, why would Billy Russo hang around that long?
Right.
Now it's weird this thing because, you know, I actually tried to rewatch again. Where is Billy going into when he kills all these people? Is this the location that Frank was being held, or was this a secret location for Billy Russo?
I think this was like either his apartment or like his secret little safe house or stash house. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was Rollins men that were coming to get him or something.
Oh, well, or maybe it was Homeland Security. Maybe he's just totally
Right,
not caring
right.
anymore and just shooting up Homeland Security folks now. Okay, that makes sense. Because at first I was thinking, is he just killing all his own men in his flat? You know. But he gets his money and he goes to make his run, and
And he still can't leave well enough alone.
because the thing is, he doesn't want to. I guess there's this weird level of it where he doesn't want to leave the Punisher as a loose end, because not for nothing. With
That's a pretty heavy loose end.
Yeah, and
he's got nothing left to lose. That's true.
Yeah, and if he leaves the Punisher, it's like this: he can probably book it to Thailand, but he knows that the Punisher's not going to let him live. And if there's even a chance the Punisher has lived, he can avoid Homeland Security. He can avoid the cops. He's got money stashed. He knows how to survive. If nothing else, he can hire himself out as a gun, and he'll do just fine.
Right. And I think there's also something to the fact that because they came up together, because they see a lot of themselves in each other, the other's opinion of the other really matters to them. And they can either get, the win by having the other guy admit that the other one was right or that his choices were superior, or you kill them and prove it.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important too.
Yeah, and what it is, and maybe even on a deeper level, just knowing that, as even though you say you don't think it's going to end, even though you think you can win, at the end of the day, you don't think you can win. And he would rather, much like the Punisher, would rather die in this way. Die as you don't want to, he wants a Klingon's death,
Right.
He wants to die in battle if he can, because the alternative of his life is to die an old man always watching the door.
So you're saying Russo would rather? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think he would rather,
because he always seemed more pragmatic and not, that he wouldn't buy into that sort of.
Well, what it is I think
logic.
He would. Well, like I said, I think he would rather either kill or be killed. But he doesn't want to
be stressed.
Yeah, he doesn't want to watch the door for the rest of his life.
Right.
Because he can watch the door for
understandable.
Homeland Security. He doesn't want to have to watch the door for Frank Castle.
Right. Homeland Security, as we just saw, is easy to avoid. All you need is one of their walkie-talkies.
Yes. Among other things,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, honestly, I think if he killed Frank Castle, though, he'd have a bigger threat from Micro, just completely draining all his Swiss bank accounts.
Right. Right.
But for what it's worth, Russo and Frank, and here's what I'll say about Russo and Frank. Russo and Frank's. Billy and Frank is that they definitely think alike. They definitely both know what the other one's going to do, because they both knew to go to what's his name? Go to
Curtis's house.
Yes, go to Curtis's house or his apartment. And Billy takes Curtis's gun. And what I love about Curtis, and I love Curtis. I really, they're talking about how they're going to do more with Night Nurse. I want Curtis. See, that can be our connection. If you ever want to get Night Nurse in there, you have Curtis working with Night Nurse at her little, thing she's going to set up to patch up heroes and villains, Because, that's actually the thing about Night Nurse that they haven't really done yet. She actually has a clinic that she both heals heroes and villains. So, like, if you're a henchman and you get shot up, you go to Night Nurse just as much as if you're, Daredevil,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's sort of, like Switzerland, everyone knows.
Right, like Pop
Exactly.
Shop.
Maybe that's where she's going to set up shop. Just a place where everyone knows this is where you can go and it's safe here. And, the cops aren't going to arrest you, the superheroes aren't going to beat you up, and if you're a villain, you're not going to try and kill the superhero in the next bet, because, you need that courtesy extended to you, too. But but it goes to Curtis, and of course, the Punisher's off on the next roof. And
right. Now, do you think Curtis knew that Punisher was there as well, or?
No, I think Curtis was asleep. I think Curtis totally, I think Curtis is basically like, I don't want any part of this,
No, but I mean, it seemed very specific of an action for him to take, to open up the blinds, and then also to like give him the coffee cup and make him walk to him to get the coffee cup and the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's possible it was, or maybe Curtis is just the same as the other two, which is that they all know.
If he's here, Frank's watching.
Yeah, exactly. He knows that if Russo found me, then Frank's found Russo, and
right.
And he's doing all the math in his head.
Okay, easy for him. He was just lining it up to the window, I guess.
Exactly. He says, "Well, that's where my window is. That's how he's going to shoot in."
Right.
And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are there's a little bit of chess going on here, I guess, is what we're supposed to imagine. All these guys' minds whirring. And I did like the fact that Russo asks him if he knew Frank was alive, and he says, Frank asked me to keep his secret, just like I'd keep yours if you asked me.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, why shouldn't he keep your secrets? We're soldiers and we're friends, and of course I'm going to protect you guys. Anything else that goes on, I'm not going to get too deep into it. Because quite frankly, it's not my business. Now, granted, when you actually look at all the innocent people that Russo's killed, Frank, for who he's killing, for the most part, it's just the people who killed his family. Russo's just killing people that had no beef with him. So
right, somebody that was just in his way.
Yeah, probably not going to get the long term benefit of a doubt. But for right now, Curtis is going to give respect to Billy as well. And they agree to go meet at the carousel.
Now, I've been saying a lot during this that this is the Batman story, but like, how much more Batman can you get than having Batman meet the Joker at a carnival,
Yeah. Well, as you know, that carousel's there in Central Park all year round. So
that's true. But still, the motif and everything was very, very Batman and Joker at the carnival.
Oh yeah, well, it's a pretty, and for what it's worth, Billy Russo, who by the end of this we see becomes Jigsaw, is very much in his own way sort of the Marvel version of Joker. Not in the sense that Joker is not in the crazy level of the Joker,
right?
But just in the fact of a guy who's been, chewed up and spit out, and is really just doesn't give a fudge anymore,
Right. And he's the character that knows our hero the best.
Exactly. And I think especially, what I'll tell you is I think that Ben Barnes' portrayal of Billy Russo is definitely going to up Jigsaw's cash within the comics community.
Very much so.
Because I do think that, much like for what it's worth, much like Jack Nicholson really put the Joker on the map as a Batman villain. Because people always think, Batman and the Joker. And it's like, yeah, that was one of his villains, but the Joker wasn't so much like always the polar opposite of Batman until after Jack Nicholson's Joker. I think
really?
I think Jack Nicholson and then
Mark Hamill, of course.
Well, Mark Hamill, but that came after. It was who's Alan Moore's The Killing Joke. Which came out at about the same time. I don't know which came out. I want to actually say that.
I think the Mark Hamill version in the cartoons came out way before.
No. Batman, because he was in Batman the Animated Series. That came out actually almost the 90s.
Right, and Killing Joke came out.
I'm looking it up right now. Killing Joke came out in. Oh, give me the dang band. Comic book. There we go. Batman the Killing Joke came out in 1988, which I believe was actually the same year as Burton's Batman. So they are parallels, you know. So between Alan Moore and Jack Nicholson, both of whom really made some great, really kind of cemented the way we think about the Joker.
Interesting.
Yeah, actually, I want to say that Batman came out in 87.
No, Batman was in 89, I believe.
89? Okay, so then Killing Joke came first. So, you know, but basically you have Alan Moore and then you have Jack Nicholson in the popular imagination. Alan Moore certainly did it in the comic book nerd's imagination, but Jack Nicholson then brought that all to the fore. And I think, you know, very much brought the Joker that informs all the other Jokers we see now. I mean, and of course Heath Ledger and that other guy brought what they had to the table too. But
well, I mean, Heath Ledger, I think, redefined the role. I think that's the best Joker we've ever seen.
I mean, you know, arguably he was a very good Joker. He was certainly a fantastic Joker. You know, personally, I always say that, you know, there's no reason to fight over which Joker is the best Joker, because they all bring something to the table that makes them the Joker. You know?
Right.
And you know, I mean, even this last Joker, who I really feel is just like you know, what happened to Macaulay Culkin's character after the Home Alone series.
How do you mean?
Just something about that character. He just reminds me so much of Macaulay Culkin's character in Home Alone.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was a terrible Joker. A absolutely terrible Joker.
Yes, well,
there was no. Well, I mean, they're terrible people, but I hope that they don't put up, you know, terrible acting performances or terrible directorial choices, whatever the case may be. But I thought it was horrible.
Yes.
I mean, and I heard that they left a lot on the cutting room floor, that they filmed a lot more stuff that maybe would have given some interesting context to the weirdness that they gave the Joker. But as it stood, he just looked like a weird, like, you know, emo kid that was just upset about not getting his allowance or something. It just it didn't play as strong or scary at all.
Yeah, that whole film was a mess from the moment that they decided not to make it a Will Smith vehicle.
Right.
Because it was supposed to be a Will Smith vehicle, and then someone said, oh, wait, but Harley Quinn's a bigger character than Deadshot. It's like, yes, but Deadshot is the character that you're supposed to be investing in now because you want to build out. But anyway, that's a whole other universe. Let's not talk about that here. We want to talk about what's going on with our friends. We do get a great bit here. We get two great scenes with Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio as Marion James, our director of the CIA. Both in her... And
Madani.
Oh, well,
and her boss.
Yeah.
Or are you talking something else?
No. That as well. You know, where... Well, first because she makes the point to Raphael that, you know, that her agent basically absconded with a fugitive. And then, you know, when they do confront each other, you know, there is a lot of back and forth. That is fantastic. But like I say, you know, I think you really very much get this fact that she's relieved to have Rollins dead. You know?
Yeah.
You know, as much of a mess as this all is, you know, it's like, okay, my problem is solved. That guy there, that was my problem. He's off the table now. So I'm going to let you guys have your fun now, just because it, you know.
No sweat off my back now.
Exactly. You know, that's.
I once again have plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm. Which is, like I say, why I feel that, you know, Rollins was outmatched on every level here.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, Marion James as a character really, like I said, I hope we get a lot more Marion James. I hope she comes back in one of these series is coming
shows. Yeah.
She was a lot of fun, and if not for nothing, I can see the CIA getting involved in anything dealing with superheroes.
Yeah.
Anywho, but yeah, so we see Russo and Frank setting up for their eventual confrontation. We see Billy basically getting himself some insurance in the form of two, you know, unfortunate people who happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But we also see Frank, get his own reinforcements in the form of Madani. In the form of him turning on his tracker now to let her know where he is.
Right.
And she realized, and it's neat because she's like going through everything, and you realize that she realizes where he's going and how messed up it is that he's going to the place where his family was killed.
Right.
And again, further within that, you get these flashbacks for Frank, facing what he and Russo had been through, not in war, but in friendship.
Right. That was crazy hard to watch because it was done so well.
Oh, yeah. And, I tell you, there's some qualities there where it's like, I really do think Russo is a pretty awful sociopath. I really do. Because
right.
I think in this scene you get exactly that he is, there's that, because there's the thing where he's talking about, he's telling his witty story and his delightfulness, about how he's named after Billy the Kid. And then Frank's daughter says, wait a minute, if you were an orphan, how do you know you were named after anybody?
Yeah.
And you see this little darkening of his mood that kind of tells who he really was and kind of says he's been this guy forever. That there was nothing that changed in him. He was always this sociopath. It's just that, he just because he didn't kill a kid right at that moment when she embarrassed him, that he was able to laugh it off. But you could see in that moment that he really felt undone. That he was really made to feel small when the little girl points out that he's selling a pile of something. And, and then the interactions between Frank and Billy as they're fighting, and it's just powerful and painful to watch, where basically, Billy's saying, you have attachments, that's your weakness. He says, what did I ever had? I had no one, and that's what made me stronger. And he's like, you had us. Oh, it is just so painful. And
it's so interesting to me that, whenever Frank is fighting, if he comes up against seemingly insurmountable odds, all he has to do is remind himself that he wants to die. And then all of a sudden, he becomes so much stronger. It's like he hulks up,
Well, yeah, because, there's, you ever see the film Gattaca?
Yes.
And there's this great line where, of course, the two brothers and the one is not genetically pure and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And he says, how was it you were always able to beat me when you should never have been able to beat me in swimming? He says, it's easy. I just never saved anything for the swim home. I always figure, I'll swim and I'll swim and I'll swim and I may, and you know what, if I get to the buoy first and I don't make it back, oh well, no big loss, but I'm not going to save it because I'm going to leave everything I have out on the field. I'm not going to save anything for the ride home. And that's how the Punisher is. He's not going to save anything for anything. It's like, why should I fight why should I fight to live when I can fight to die? Why should I fight with the hope that I'll make it through when, no, I don't want to make it through. I just want to cause you a world of hurt.
Right.
And for what it's worth, that is exactly what he does to Billy Russo because
oh my God,
he realizes the one thing that Billy Russo values, his one attachment, which is, and again, that complete social pathology of Billy Russo. That, when he says to him, and it's so painful, he says, I look for my kids every day. Every day I wake up and I look for where my kids are, and then I remember. And then it's so painful, and it says, and you're going to have that now. And this is where Frank says, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to let you live, because I've come to realize that is so much more the punishment. That letting you live, that is what you deserve. You know, and he may go and kill him eventually. You know, he may decide
Right.
at some point he may get around to killing him. But for right now, you've got to live, Billy Russo, and that is my punishment for you. Because every day when you look at this ruin of your face, and you know when you see them there, and you see their reflections in the broken mirror. And honestly, I'm watching it, and I swear the way they lit it, Frank's face looks like a skull in that moment.
I didn't catch that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that again.
Yeah,
I did not catch that.
You look at the reflection in the mirror and the way he's lit. I don't know if that was intentional or maybe it's just my screen on my phone, but man, he looks like it's like a skull standing over this guy whose entire face is just blood.
Wow.
And it is an intense scene as he just beats the heck out of Billy.
He scrapes his face across that glass. That was so brutal.
Yeah, because he wants, he's taking the one thing, because, Billy Russo doesn't have kids, but he had his face, and now that's gone. It is honestly such an intense and powerful moment, and we're not done yet. And also in this, Madani gets shot in the head.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know what to make of that. That's insane.
Yeah, well, it was kind of weird in the sense that, I guess it's just this idea she's coming in as the cavalry.
Right.
But of
course, Madani can't ever do anything right.
Well, I think she's a better cop than she is a soldier. Is what
right.
I can say. She's a better detective,
Right.
She's good at solving problems and putting two and two together and following leads. She's not very good at getting the jump on someone.
Right.
All of her strategies seem to gain. Although, here's what I'll say. I think her strategy here really worked, aside from her getting shot in the head. Because we do hear the sirens coming as she's on her way. And when it's all said and done, when they start talking to Frank, so basically he's holding Madani, he's putting the pressure on her wound to try and keep her alive, and he's basically sacrificing himself for Madani because he knows the cops are going to arrest him.
Right.
He knows he's going to go to. He assumes he's going to go to jail. He assumes there's no way out of this, but he said, but you know what? For what it's worth, he maybe is like, okay, I'm okay with that now.
Yeah, he's been trying to get some punishment for forever, but nobody seems to want to punish him.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, they punish him physically, but never in the moral sense. He never gets like a moral reprimanding. Every time he seeks it out, nobody wants to kill him, and nobody wants to reprimand him. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, lots of people want to kill him. They're just not as good at it as
yeah. Well, yeah, that's also true.
What I think we see here is that he is. Well, here's the thing. I think he'd be fine going to jail once all the people he wants dead are dead.
Right.
Just so long as no one comes after Karen Page, he'll be fine.
Right.
Although now he's got Micro and Sarah to worry about too. So.
Right.
There's a growing list of people that you don't want to draw the Punisher back out of retirement for.
Right.
But he is, I think, for example, I think when he went to jail in Daredevil, I think he would have been fine. If people just let him be.
Yeah. Yeah, no person getting in the middle of that.
I mean, it's three hots and a cot. What more does the man need?
Yeah.
Compared to Afghanistan, this is luxury. He got a gym, he can work out. So long as no one tries to fight him, we can all be friends. I'm not here to kill anyone. Because it's not like he was Rorschach in
Watchmen.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say in Daredevil when he goes to jail. He's not going to jail to kill people. Like Rorschach, he was like, "You're going to send me to a place with a bunch of criminals. You do know what I do." It's like, not, at least when the criminals all came after Rorschach, it was really always with a kill or be killed sense because you knew that Rorschach was going to kill them all eventually. But I think Frank probably wouldn't have killed anyone had they let it go. Although yeah. Anyway, moving right along. basically, Marion tells Frank, we're giving you a clean pass. Here's actual legitimate paperwork for Pete Castiglione. All of your identifying records in the system are no longer yours. We've switched them out with a dead man's. And so we don't have your prints in the system anymore. Now, obviously, his facial recognition software is still going to be able to find them as it has before. But
right, because he is the Punisher. They don't want to lose sight of him. They're always going to be watching him, though.
Oh yeah. Although maybe that's something we'll get into the second season. About whether or not someone thinks leaving that nice shiny weapon on the table without pointing it somewhere is
right.
There could be lots of things. It will be very interesting.
Because the thing he could be, he's eventually going to point it somewhere. Might as well make it a productive, crazy person.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be interesting to see him and Red get back together in season 3 of Daredevil. I mean, I hope those two actually
indeed.
Have a very interesting backstory. Especially, they're both Catholic, they're both racked with guilt, but one person kills people, and another person just beats them near to death.
It's like they're two sides of Batman's personality fighting it out.
Exactly. Which is one of the reasons why I think it works out so well.
Yeah.
And then our final bit there is, after David has given all the testimony to basically, let everyone know what happened, even though there's no one left to convict. Although I suppose they could convict Billy Russo eventually. Like, if he ever comes out of his coma. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also, it gives Madani leverage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it saves her career. So that's one thing that's still helpful with their testimony.
Mm-hmm. And we see that they're getting it all ready for Thanksgiving or some turkey-themed holiday.
Right.
And all the kids are excited. And at first I felt a little sad that Frank doesn't want to go in. Because I really felt like, oh, come on, Frank, this is what you want. This is family. You get to be with people. You get to actually, I know it's not your family, but, it's the next best thing. It's the next best thing. And,
right.
He chooses not to, but what he chooses to do instead is actually even more powerful, I think. Because he actually chooses to go to the support group.
Right, and help Kurt.
Well, I mean, to get help from Curtis,
well, yeah, that too.
I mean, I think, and like he tells him, look, this only works because we keep each other's secrets.
Yeah.
And, it is really beautiful. Honestly, I felt that was the most powerful aspect of the whole. One of the most powerful aspects of this whole thing is just this discussion of, what makes a man a soldier, and what does he become when he comes back from war, and and what are the different ways we go to war, and what are the different things we sacrifice when we declare that we have to have a war, It's really, beautiful and painful and wonderful. And honestly, like I said, I was really moved by this series in a way that I did not expect. I really kind of expected this to be not as good as it was, and I should know better by now. I should know that Marvel doesn't half-butt it for the most part,
For the most part.
I mean, they have their half-butt episodes and their half-butt thing. Sometimes things don't go as well as you'd like. Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But I do think that overall they do well, and I think this is one of those moments where things went really well.
Really well, yeah.
Yeah, I really think that the Punisher, they made me really care about the Punisher, and that is hard sometimes. I mean, honestly, I like some Punisher stories. I used to read the Punisher's War Journal, which was his 90s book. But, even that I eventually fell off of. And, I really think that they managed to make the Punisher a believable character in all of this. Especially in the sense that right now, he actually isn't just an obsessive crime fighter.
Right.
He's killing criminals.
He hasn't become a superhero yet.
Well,
in a way.
Well,
he's just gotten done wrapping up his own agenda.
Exactly. He is fighting for. This is kind of the sad aspect of this. And it'll be interesting, if we ever do get any real good crossovers with anybody, what they've essentially done is establish a pretty neat take on a Spider-Manic version of the Punisher. Because right now, he's only killing the people that have done him wrong. But if we take the idea that with great power comes great responsibility, Frank Castle has great power. He has that particular set of skills. And if he doesn't use them for a purpose, is he living up to his great responsibility that comes from his great power? And it would be it's an interesting take, and it would be perfect for our modern Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they do turn their own tropes on their head. Where, yes, power and responsibility, but rather than that making you a Spider-Man, maybe that's what makes you a Punisher, is because you have this power and you have the responsibility to deal with it.
Right, to fight for the weak.
Well, to murder.
To murder for the
people who are hurting the weak,
Right.
But that is Memento Mori. That is Remember You Will Die. That's right, Tristan. Any final thoughts on this episode, this series? What you think might happen in the next series? Mozz, what you thought? What your hopes are for Jessica Jones, our next thing?
Oh, I am super excited about Jessica Jones because that was one of the most well-written shows that they've done, and I can't wait to get into that character again.
Yeah, I mean, I have watched it, and I'm looking forward to watching it again to talking about it with you. And I gotta say, there's a lot that it's gotten criticism about, but I actually think all of the characters make sense to me. But as a person with a love of the grape myself, I've always felt a bit of a kinship to their depiction of Jessica Jones, where they really play up not only the alcohol, but the alcoholism, and about how addiction feeds itself, but how honestly there's some great stuff in this, and I can't wait to discuss it with you next week. Hopefully, we might take a week off, but these haven't all aired yet, so probably even if we took a week off and then got into it, there'd still be
a week for you.
Yeah, so it'll be right after this on your Capes and Lunatics feed and the Nuff Said feed, as well as other feeds, I'm sure. Okay, this was great. This was fantastic. And I can't wait for season 2 because it's greenlit. Netflix is going to squeeze as much as they can out of these contracts.
Yeah.
Because they got the contracts. Yeah, well, exactly, They're saying to Marvel, hey, we had a deal, Marvel. We're going to keep on going with this. Okay. Anyway. Mozz, if people would like to reach out to you, how can they find you?
You can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
And, of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, where Mozz and Poms, and our Micro and his family love to do even to this day, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet various things when I can. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when I can stay up for it. Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality. Okay. You are absolved of your sins, dear listeners. Go in peace and sin no more. And when season 2 comes out, feel free to come back for your just punishments. But until then, Let me just say, hey, hey, I want your cray, cray. Hey, hey, I want your AKA Jones cast. Next week. And when you watch the show, you'll get what that song is, and you'll like it. Okay, yeah, we have a new song for Jessica Jones, for the AKA Jones cast this week, or this month, this coming up. That's it. Based off of the Hey Hey, I Want Your Cray Cray song by one Patsy Walker. Okay. Good night, everybody.